In this video, we are going to be unboxing the Hayward C4030 Cartridge filter. As you can see, it is a large capacity filter, and I agree with that. So let's go ahead and get this off the table and unbox it before I break my table. Okay, here we are back. That's a little bit better. These things are pretty heavy, especially when they're all boxed up with all the components, filter, everything like that. So world's smallest sonotube. That's just a little contractor humor for you there. It does come with unions. That's always a question that people have with new equipment. Does it come with all the fittings I need to connect it? Hayward typically is pretty good for that. In this case here we have CPVC unions, which are 2-inch slip or 2.5-inch spigot. And what that means is 2-inch pipe would glue into this, or a 2.5-inch fitting, like a coupling, would fit over the outside of the flange. The instruction manual, again, as with everything I unbox, I tell you, read the instruction manual. You've probably paid handsomely for whatever it is I'm unboxing here. Read the instruction manual. There's going to be tips in there for how to use it day to day, but also things like preventative maintenance tips, or like, hey, never do this or that. You should know that stuff, because you certainly don't want to ruin this new equipment that you've bought because you failed to read the instruction manual. The amount of engineering in this cardboard packaging material is pretty intense. Alrighty, and the rest of it is so it comes complete. Filters are inside of it, band clamps on, tops attached to the bottom. It's all at one. You gotta cut the box away or rip it out here. I am not going to attempt to rip it out of there because it's very heavy, and there's also no handles or anything like that you want to grab it by. There is you'll see here in a second, there's a kind of a small valve on top, the air release valve. It's where the pressure gauge is. You could grab a hold of it. It looks like a great place to grab onto it. Do not try to lift it from that. Okay, so technically we're unboxed here. I don't need to unbox it any further, right? So, as I said before, this thing here, don't grab it and move that. Like, I might put my hand on it and use it for positioning, but no way in heck am I grabbing and lifting or pulling anything like that. Forget about it. This thing's too heavy. If you really need to get under it, the flange on the band clamp is better to grab a hold of than anything up top here. And let's talk about that for a second. The giant red warning tag on the band clamp here is making you aware of the potential for danger with a split flange pressure vessel like this. Like when you're talking about compressing fluid, it doesn't compress. It's safer than something like air, because air can compress. And even a few psi of trapped air, which is compressed, is dangerous, super dangerous. I have seen pictures and stories on the internet of split flange filter tanks where somebody has not taken proper care to make sure that the flange assembly is put together and seated properly and sufficiently tight, and all these things that a swimming pool technician would always be sure to do. The pool owner might not know to do it, and they're interacting with a piece of complicated equipment, not realizing the potential for danger here. Hence that big warning label on there. They want you to know that these things could be dangerous. And in fact, most of your pool equipment could be dangerous. Like heaters. The heaters are so dangerous. Like, people monkey around with pool heaters all the time. It's not working, so I can shorten some wires out and seeing what happens. What are you doing? That thing has 400,000 BTU. That's like 10 very large family-sized barbecues all running on full at the same time. Like, when you say it like that, it sounds like a lot, right? So it's not the type of thing to go monkey around with. Neither is a pool pump, neither is a pool filter. That's why pool technicians exist. That's why you should be dealing with a service professional anytime you're dealing with pool equipment. That being said, I do want you to see what comes in the box here. I do want you to be aware of a couple of the small details. For example, this is one. With these filters in particular, somebody is going to watch this video to learn this information, and if I'm talking to you right now, go ahead and leave me a comment. So here's the thing. We've got the intake and the outlet right here. Where is the drain port in relation to the intake and outlet? That's such an important question. When you're placing your equipment, you're thinking, well, if I have to winterize and I have to drain this tank, that is a ton of water I'm going to be dumping out wherever my equipment's installed. Maybe it's in a shed or something like that. You want the drain port to be easy to access. You want it to be aiming in a direction that's not going to flood out the entire area, but you need to know where the inlet and outlet are, because of course that relates to how you position the equipment for your installation. These are all just little details, but very important. Something like that is hard to find out from pictures or installation manuals, but easy to find out from an unboxing video. So the drain port in this case is at the very bottom, and it is on the opposite side to where the inlet and outlet are. I think you can see all the way down there. There it is down there at the bottom, 1.5 inch female thread. So what else can we talk about here? You know what? I don't normally do this with an unboxing, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this thing up so that I can show you what's inside of it as well. So this nut is brass, and you should use a socket on that. Don't use an adjustable wrench. Be better than me. Be better than Swimming Pool Steve. But also, the closest tool is always the right tool. That's something that I learned early in my career. Maybe it's not true, but in this case, I was very careful to not mar the brass, because you can bet if you're careless or you slip off there or you're using the wrong size, anything like that, you're going to scar up this brass here. And after, you know, a lifetime of service, it starts to kind of get pretty rounded off. So just be careful. Make a point with a cartridge filter like this that you're going to either be better than me and get a properly sized socket. If you're going to use an adjustable wrench, size it properly and be very careful and purposeful with your movements. That looks pretty stable up there. Okay. So on top here, we've got the manifold. Set that aside here. Seat that properly. But we'll set that aside. And you've got the 4 cartridges here. So this is a 400 square foot, I think it's actually 425 square foot cartridge filter. What I like about this filter in specific is I like the multiple filter design. You can sometimes have them with one giant filter or 2 pretty big ones. I prefer 4 smaller cartridges inside a cartridge filter. That is my preferred design. If I had everything available to me, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And that is one of the reasons why I refer so many pool owners to this specific filter, the C4030. I like it quite a lot. So that's the unboxing video here. You see everything that comes in this thing. You get a good idea what you're going to be getting, what you've got to work with, where the ports are located, things like that. Does it come with unions? I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, I hope that you'll like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because if you do, you're going to see a future video come out shortly where I install this filter, and you're going to learn some more from that as well, presumably. Like and subscribe, and also be sure to check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.